Next guest, let's talk about the whole dealing with maintaining independence with vision loss. And Dennis, I think you're here to speak.
Thank you. Good afternoon. I'll try and get us back on track a little bit. Try and be as brief as I can. I first of all want to let everyone know I did not bring a PowerPoint, and I did not bring a PowerPoint for a reason, because I can't read it. So ask all of you to pay close attention. I know it's getting close to lunchtime, but hang in there. I am the president and CEO of an organization called VisionCorps. And VisionCorps is spelled like Peace Corps, only VisionCorps. And we are a nonprofit organization that provides rehabilitation and education services to people who are blind and whose vision is impaired. One of the things I want to talk about today, I know you've heard a lot about glaucoma, the medical condition of glaucoma, the treatment for glaucoma in both adults and children. What I want to talk about today is when when someone develops glaucoma and they have a significant vision loss, how can we assist them in maintaining their independence? Or, if you're in that position, how can you maintain your independence? And I believe there are a couple excuse me, there are a couple keys to this, to maintaining independence with vision loss. And I think I call this a holistic approach because I think it involves the individual experiencing vision loss, the physician who's treating that vision loss, the family members who are involved with that individual, and then other service agencies that you may come in contact with. So when we talk about a holistic approach, we're not talking about a medical treatment, but we're talking about what I like to think of as a life treatment. Talking about helping someone adjust to the vision loss. And the first thing I have to say, and be totally honest, and it's going to be disappointing to everyone, but there isn't one magic bullet. I talk to people all the time, and they say, what is it that you can do to help me? What is one thing that you can do? And oftentimes we can provide one service that helps an individual with one issue. But when you're dealing with severe vision loss, it's not an easy thing. It's not impossible, but it's not easy. It requires work on everyone's part, and as I said before, there's no magic bullet, and there are times when you're going to get really frustrated. I've had a vision impairment for over 50 years, and there are some days when I wake up and just am like, I can't believe I got to stand at the bus stop today. Just want to get in a car. Not going to happen. I know it's not going to happen, but that doesn't prevent me from getting frustrated from time to time. So it's okay. It's okay for people to get frustrated, but it's how you handle that frustration. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. But the first thing I want to talk about is to physicians and patients alike. When individuals experience significant vision loss, it's critical that we help those folks get hooked up with organizations throughout their community who can provide supports that the medical profession can't provide. For example, at our organization, we offer a program called Choices and Changes, and it's about helping adults adjust to vision loss. And it has a variety of components in it. The first one is to make sure and to work with a physician and help people understand exactly what their vision disorder is. What does it mean? What is the difference between legal blindness and vision impairment? And what are those definition means legally in terms of one's ability to be eligible for certain services. So it's really important that people understand exactly what their vision disorder is and what the ramifications of that are. Somebody asked a question about glaucoma. When I get it, does it mean I get it forever? When I have macular degeneration, do I get it, stay forever? And what's the prognosis? And kind of working together to make sure that individuals understand that. The second thing I think it's really important that we focus on are what we like to call adaptive techniques for daily living. Now, it sounds pretty sophisticated, but in many ways, it's a pretty simple process. Think about before one experienced significant vision loss, how did you do all those things around your house, either at home or at work? How did you function in your environment? Well, obviously, when you take away someone's vision or a significant portion of that vision, your functioning level is going to be a lot different. So in order to do the things that you did before, you need to learn some adaptive techniques. And there are thousands of adaptive techniques that we can talk about, ranging from putting orange dots on appliances throughout your house so that you know, this is a setting that I need it to be at, to working with the Library of Congress and getting books on thumb drives or books on tapes, or learning how. Somebody says, "Well, how do you clean your house if you can't see the dirt?" Well, there are techniques to do that. Okay, trust me, there are. I don't. But how do I make sure that I've got gray pants and a blue shirt on instead of blue pants and an orange shirt on? How do I do that? So those are kind of things that really frustrate people, though, that if they can't do it. I mean, think about that. Somebody, one of our staff people was talking to a group the other day, and she said, I used to like to cook a lot in the kitchen, and now I can't. And I'm like, no, yes you can. You just have to do it in a different way. You just have to learn how to do that. So that's another key to what I think is maintaining independence, is learning how to adapt using techniques that you might not have even thought of before you experience significant vision loss. The third component, I think, is technology. It used to be that people said, well, older people don't understand technology. Today, that's not true. Most people, as they get older, have some knowledge of technology. They're pretty computer literate. There is a ton of technology available for people experiencing vision loss. Okay? There's screen magnification for your PC. I have an iPhone, and if you're familiar with Apple, the iPhone is filled with what I like to think of as accessible technology. I can enlarge the fonts. I can use VoiceOver, and if I'm reading something and it's difficult to read, I can use the VoiceOver function. It has got a ton of features. Now, I always joke with everybody and say I'm a walking advertisement for Apple, because it's the first time that I've ever bought anything off the shelf at a store. Plus, there was someone at the store that actually knew how it worked and showed me. Now, I'm going to be honest and tell you that Apple's not the only product that can, that has that. There are different phones, droids, Androids that can have that. But I like to think that the recent advances in technology have done more to impact the lives of people who are blind or vision impaired, more to impact the lives than anything since Louis Braille invented Braille. I mean, stop and think about it. You can shop online. you can store all your information online. And with the right kind of adaptive equipment, you can have it read to you, or you can enlarge the screen to read it. Now, that kind of stuff scares a lot of people if they've never used it before. So one of the things that we like to, we have what we call adaptive technology, where we can work with individuals and assist them in learning how to use that technology, finding out what technology works best for them. And if you've got a smartphone, you already know that there are thousands of different apps that you can download. I mean, we have apps, there are apps to identify money. There are apps to, like with a GPS in it, if you're walking down the street and you're not sure where you need to go and how to get there, the app can provide that for you. I got one buzzing now. I'm not sure what that is, but let me turn that off. So technology is important. Finally, one of the fourth key that is really important in terms of maintaining your independence is how to deal with those emotional responses when you experience vision loss. I mean, for those of you in the room that have experienced vision loss, I'd be willing to bet that there are days when you're angry. There are days when you have a sense of, I can't deal with this, and you maybe become down. So we want to be, I think it's important that people understand what those emotions are and develop techniques and strategies to respond to those. Because, back in the day, people used to talk about, well, he accepted his blindness. And I got to tell you, I don't know anybody that's ever accepted their blindness. I think what we do is adjust. It's a constant adjustment process. And unfortunately, we'd all like to get to the point where that adjustment is not painful anymore. That we've developed those techniques, we've developed strategies to deal with those emotional responses, and we've taken advantage of the technology that is available, and we're functioning relatively independently. And there are certain things, I mean, I know I'm not going to drive a car and or fly an airplane. I'd love to, but it's not going to happen. I'm okay with that because I've adjusted to my circumstances, and I've been successful and able to maintain what I think is a high degree of independence. What's important is when that vision loss occurs, that the physicians and you as a patient are advocates, and that we work to get hooked up with those organizations in your community who can help deal with those issues. Now, our headquarters is in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and we provide services in Lancaster, Lebanon, Berks, and in Chester County. But there's an organization right here in Philadelphia, Associated Services for the Blind. You'll hear from another group right after me who are located in Delaware County and Montgomery County. So these services are out there. And it's not just about organizations that serve people with vision loss. There are other services that you might be eligible for. For example, paratransit, to get to and from doctor's appointments. Special programs within senior centers. I talked about the Library of Congress, where you can have audible books. And so I think it's important that, there's a lot to learn. There's a lot that's out there, and you're not going to learn it all in a day. Not going to learn it all in a week. But I'm here to tell you that if you want to maintain your independence, there is skill training and there are services out there that can help you do that. So I encourage both the physicians to work with your patients and encourage them to reach out to these organizations. A physician can even make a referral to our organization or any one of these other organizations, and we'll get that referral and make arrangements to come out and start the service process. And you, as patients, be advocates. Advocate for yourself. Those services are out there. It just takes a little digging to find them. Thank you very much. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today, and I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you.